Good morning, all of you. Thank you for being here today. It's been exciting putting this together and actually seeing all these faces and this interest in going through an ROI study. In 2012, let me step back. Who am I? I am Jeanne Kavanaugh. I think most of you know me. A lot of our nonprofits are sitting here in the room, which is really awesome. The Target Foundation is not the total giving arm of Target. I am the manager of the social service portfolio, which serves about 85 organizations in the 7-county metro area. The Target Foundation is basically the Dayton-Hudson Foundation that we took over when we became Target. It will celebrate its 100th anniversary in 2017, which is an amazing legacy of giving in this Twin Cities community that Target has continued to do. So now back to the story of why we are here today. In 2012, Jeremiah Program approached us. The Target Foundation has very limited funds to do special projects, but there are times that we look at things and go, you know what? At that point, we really felt ROI was on the horizon. It was something that was being kind of talked about, passed around. Corporations were really looking at what is the return on investment on our grants, and how do we look at that? So when Jeremiah approached me, I really felt that they were kind of on the cusp of really starting this off. So we decided that we would fund this, and part of that was to give back to the community. There's great learnings through these processes, but how do you share, and how do you divide it, and how do you make other people stronger because of it? So today is a strong effort of trying to do that. Part of building a community is building the sector. So with that said, this was a combination of efforts with Wilder, Jeremiah Program, and Target. It was a great team of folks, so I just want to say a quick thank you to all of them. First off to Jeremiah, Lucy Gerald, and Mike McHughes, who are here to talk to you today about the actual study. And Wilder Research. As all of you know, Wilder is a core of this community. I do want to say that they are a vendor that supports ROI, but there are other options out there for you. So as you go through this, think about that. So I want to thank Paul. I worked with Paul on various different programs that Target has been working on, and also gave us a learning for our team here about some of the things that the nonprofit community is going through in the last couple of years. Jose Diaz, who is going to do part of the presentation, Richard Chase, and then also a huge call out, there's always someone behind the scenes, and Nancy Hartzler has been awesome in getting us all together, putting this together, and kind of being the nuts and bolts of the overall event. So with that said, I am going to turn it back to Paul, who's going to introduce the program. And please, like you said, continue to have coffee and donuts. We always like to have clean plates, but just enjoy yourself, and let me know how you felt that the session went afterwards. I think most of you know how to get a hold of me, so I would love to hear back from you. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Jeanne. And again, welcome to those of you who just arrived. We have a wide diversity of people here, different types of organizations, different positions in organizations. What I think unites you are a couple themes. One, you want to understand more about Jeremiah, what's gone on with this program, how they've done evaluation and cost-benefit, return on investment analysis. And number two, I think you want to understand more about that return on investment analysis process itself to think about how it might apply in your situation. Jeanne was indicating some of the background to this work. It comes within a context where we know that the resources available to meet needs will not equal the amount that we need to meet all of those needs, and increasingly we need to be wiser and more cost effective in the types of decisions that we're making about where to put dollars, and also in the design of programs so that they are as effective and as cost effective as they possibly can be. What's exciting for me about today is seeing the process that Jeremiah went through in doing this work and learning from this work, and now making changes as a result of this work, and now committing itself to looking at what those changes mean in terms of improving effectiveness. They learned a lot. They were surprised by some of the initial findings. There were things that board and staff didn't expect to find, but they discovered them, and now they're able to move on and think about constant improvement over time so that they can be as effective and as cost-effective as possible as a result of doing the evaluation work that they did and doing the return on investment work that they did on top of that evaluation research. I'm going to show you just one slide, and I won't spend a lot of time on it. There are a lot I could say, but I want to make just a couple simple points about this slide. And those points relate primarily to the circles or the little buttons that you see along that arrow. And what those buttons indicate are key ingredients that you will want to be sure you cover, that you include if you want to do a return on investment analysis. And doing an ROI is not particularly difficult in some ways, although I also want to say that it can't just be done simply and quickly. There are bad ones out there and there are good ones out there. But if you include these ingredients and you include them in a reliable, valid way, you will be able to do a good, solid return on investment analysis. The first thing is to understand your program objective. What are you really trying to accomplish? And are you able to state that in a way that you would know whether you're able to accomplish it better than whatever the alternative is, the status quo, some other way of acting, whatever that might be. But it's important to be able to state that program objective. Secondly, you want to be able to identify your target population, the population whose needs your program is addressing. You want to be able to discuss or describe that in the community at large, and of course you want to be able to accurately describe the client population that you are serving so you know how it relates, compares to the population at large, because that will be important for framing the effectiveness and the cost effectiveness, the cost benefit of your program. Third, you want to be able to describe the intervention. What is it exactly that you're doing? What are the activities as a result of that that you are carrying out as part of that intervention? What are the outputs of that intervention? How much stuff are you doing? How many hours of service? How many trainings? How many meetings? How many days or nights of service, residential service, whatever it might be? You want to be able to describe that intervention accurately. You want to be able to describe the resources that are necessary in order to deliver that intervention to the population to achieve your objective. All the costs have to be included if you want to move on to do a return on investment analysis. And you have to be able to describe your outcomes. What did you actually achieve? So not just what did you do, outputs, how much service did you provide, but what difference did that service actually make in a person's life? What changed in terms of your clients' attitudes, behaviors, their accomplishments in life, what they're doing in community, family, work, wherever? If you can accurately describe those 5 things, if you have good data that are valid and reliable, you will set yourself up to do a return on investment analysis. And you'll see how that played out in the analysis of the Jeremiah program